How's it going? Geeks of the West here from Geek Talk. What makes a good frightening survival horror game? Who knows? Because apparently Capcom has forgotten what survival horror is. Not to mention, Dead Space seemingly lost its frightening, dreadful atmosphere. No matter where you go, everyone seems to have an answer. Everyone seems to think that they have the key to unlocking what makes a game a scary survival experience. Before we begin, I'd like to clear one thing up. Technically, survival horror does not necessarily mean scary. However, they are correlated in my honest opinion. Resident Evil 5 was technically survival horror. However, the survival horror aspect of Resident Evil 5 can be debated heavily. Horror means an intense feeling of fear, shock, or disgust, so a game full of mutilation is considered a horror game. I was having a hard time deciding whether or not I wanted to make a video about what makes a game scary or what makes a good survival horror game. Shock doesn't mean fear, and neither does disgust. If you see a rotted dead body, or a dead body, or a nasty creepy crawly like a spider, you might not be fearful, you might just be in disgust because of your disapproval of such things. Or when we felt shocked when we learned that Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders were running for president successfully in 2016 presidential election. However, I think I'll combine the two, as in my opinion, a good horror game will have elements that are scary. And we all, including myself, associate horror with scary. The reason I'll combine the two are simple. Survival can be scary or cause many to shiver in fear. It can become a shock when you realize that your chances of surviving are slim to none. You can be disgusted by gross-looking enemies or mutilation of a character. That's barely scratching the surface, as I could explain or venture into even more examples of fear, shock, and disgust. However, at the same time, I will go into details about many ways that we can achieve each aspect of horror, as well as survival. Let's start with survival. Survival. There's many ways to achieve the survival aspect of a game. There's many brackets we can create or dive into that demonstrate survival. This includes health, enemies, player abilities, decisions, and environment. As I continue, you'll start to see how all of these are related to each other. With health, you can make it challenging by making the player's health a major factor in the game. Yes, most games, virtually all, have health that can be depleted by superior enemies. Like in Call of Duty and Battlefield, your health can easily be diminished. However, in Call of Duty and Battlefield, you feel like you are evenly matched with your enemies and foes. You are given a simple solution to the problem. In the Resident Evil series, bites or attacks from enemies can drain your health rather quickly. The only way to gain your health back is through first aid sprays or herbs. Meaning, if you're not careful, you can lose health, which will require you to take time to regain it back yourself. Sometimes you're forced to get through difficult sections with a low amount of health. In Doom 3, there's health packs and healing bays that can assist you. However, you're given a plethora of difficult enemies to deplete your health while you try. Doom 3 is an example of a good scary game that provides you with a shooting gallery. Enemies are important. Why? Well, if you have easy enemies that can be destroyed without a problem, the game doesn't really get scary, now does it? What are ways you can make enemies challenge you on a level that makes the game about survival? You can make enemies bullet sponges, powerful, smart, or overwhelming in numbers. For example, say you enter a room. In this room, a monster pops out. This monster will die with a total of 10 bullets in the leg, 11 bullets in the arm, 15 bullets in the hand, 8 in the stomach, 5 in the chest, 4 in the heart, and 3 in the head. However, you only have 2 bullets. However, you also have a pocket knife. The knife is only half or 3/4 as effective as the bullets. Or you have your fists and kicks, which are anywhere from 1/4 to 3/4 as effective as bullets. How are you going to survive the fight? Players' abilities. What if your player is weak? How will they survive against enemies? What if your player is terrible with weapons? What if your player is slow? Or what if your player has speed going for him? That's the only effective tool that you have against stronger enemies. What if you need to run past enemies because you know you can't fight? Basically, what I'm referring to is the player's odds of survival and how to increase those odds by using what the player has to their advantage. How does the game balance it out? To me, a good survival horror game will give you a 1/4 or 1/4 chance of survival, meaning the character you're playing as can walk, and if you play through the game trying to rush or go through guns blazing, you'll struggle. Your character is weak and has low ammo, however, you have speed on your side, so that'll automatically increase your chances to a half or 2/4, because you have tools necessary to combat your enemies. However, that'll do nothing if you're not smart with the player abilities. You're fast, you can run from enemies. So what? What if you're trapped in a corner? You have to rely on your low ammo and knife, meaning the player has to access which tools are appropriate for the job. Can my speed help me pass this part? How effective is this knife? Will I need to use bullets? Or will I have to combine my skills by running past the enemy to attack it from a different angle where the enemy won't be able to hurt me? This topic will require more than one video to complete. There's just so much to go over, and I can't fit it all without surpassing the 10-minute mark I'm trying to keep my video under. There's so many aspects that we can touch upon when talking about what makes a good survival horror game. And we're going to touch those aspects, so stay tuned for part 2. You've just watched another edition of Geek Talk. This is Geeks of the West thanking you for your support. Don't forget to thumbs up, comment, or even subscribe, or check out my other 200 videos that I have on Geeks of the West.
Thank you.